Everybody, and welcome back to Superman Crypto, your host Superman in the house, and we're going to get straight into it. Make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, hit the bell on the way in. But we had Zen Nights auctions, which was 3 days finished. So we're going to talk about that later on in the live stream. We're going to get all the latest updates later on. But first, we're going to jump into the prices and see how they are going for Zen and DXN, etc. So let's go. Let's pull it up. So here is DXN on, XEN or Zen on the daily. We can see it's currently at 7,818, so holding up very strong indeed. And I said to you that there's a good chance of that. We bounced off the area that I said, which is the 38.2, and only because we had confidence that the fundamentals were looking pretty strong. Obviously, we've got some profit takers out there. I know that Trayvon said he took some profits off the table, but it's really looking pretty bullish out there at the moment. And 38.2, even with the Bitcoin going down below 30K, so that's sort of our context environment. Zen is holding up very well indeed, and we're going to talk about the fundamentals moving forward. So at the moment on the Fibonacci, which is what you see here, we did bounce off the 38.2 approximately, and we are back up, heading back up to the 23.6, which is where we exactly are at the moment, 7,800 on the Fibonacci. Amazing. So looking pretty good there. Now, we're going to jump over to the summary of the day. We're up 5.5% on the 24 hours, so a modest increase given the big rally. And, of course, the buys, we've had 609 buys versus 360 sells, so 62% of the buys. So a lot still strong buying in there with the trading numbers. The US dollars, of course, in volume, just slightly stronger there, so 2.3 million over 2.2 million. And there is 1.8 million in liquidity with the Zen wrapped ETH pair there at the moment. So I'm pretty sure that is the bigger one. Hopefully I picked up the biggest one there. But that is kind of where we are there on that one. Let's have a look at the Gwei. Now, Gwei has been particularly high. Let me have a look here. We got 66 Gwei here. Let me just do a refresh on this one. Just make sure we've got the latest and greatest. So 42, it's come back down. So it was up at 68. It's down at 42. Looks like we've got a minimum of 19.2. So lucky it's just starting to taper off here. It has been extremely high of the Gwei. That's obviously impacted DXN, impacts everything, minting, everything else. All gets minted, obviously, but does in some ways make things more valuable as well. So we'll talk about that too. Minimum 19 Gwei, 42 is the Gwei average at the moment. That's over the last 7 days. So let's actually tick in to the last day, which is very, very important. So I just realized that I was on the wrong chart there. So last day, yeah, 66 Gwei is where we are on the last day. Minimum 41.6 and maximum 194. You can see in the last day, look at that, super high. Getting a chance of getting below 50, very rare indeed. And of course, we've got the average at 66 at the moment. So pretty crazy stuff there with the Gwei. Now that is moving us into DXN. So DXN holding up super well, $71.82, and bounced off yesterday's chart there. Look at that, beautiful. Yesterday got as low as $60.72. Now it's $71.82 towards the high end, looking bullish on Zen. So on DXN. We've got the price up almost 15% on 24 hours. 196 buys versus 114 sells. 63% of the trades have been buys, and we've got the buy volume at 58%. 876,000 over 612,000 in the top trading pair with 707,000 in liquidity. So looking pretty strong as DXN. Moving to Exlon, which also burns DXN, right? So Exlon gets burned into minting new Exlon. Exlon sitting as strong as well, up at almost 6,700. Yesterday bottomed down at 4,899. The day before 4,226. So it's up pretty dramatic there as well. So we'll look at the results there, up 35% on the 24 hours. Pretty awesome when you've come off such a low. Remember, this has got smaller liquidity, so we get more volatility. And we've got $120,000 in liquidity there. We've had 101 trades, so 52% of the trades have been buys. And we've had the buy volume, 54% buy volume, 134K over 110K. And that is our top Exlon pair. So those are the numbers. So looking really good, especially with Bitcoin going under 30K, under 29K. And so that's looking bullish. Let's get into the fundamentals. Fundamentals overnight, of course, the liquid supply still over 8.8 trillion. Staked has popped back over 1.5 trillion. So that's good to see. Now we came off the last day of the big supply. So let's go down to our future supply numbers. And let's have a look at the 7 days. So we just come off the Friday, and that's got a low 40 billion. So that's a low mint. That's the last of our low mints coming off. and those will be, you know, claimed, and some of it won't be claimed because people forget to claim, but they'll be claimed over the sort of the day. Leading into the weekend, we have the 22nd and the 23rd, and of course we've got 84 and 113 billion. So those are our first bigger candles, but hopefully we'll get a reprieve on the GWEI, and the GWEI will come down because that will help with DXN minting, burning Zen on DXN. So that's going to be pretty bullish. Now, so that's, we've still got relatively low mints over the next day, so to speak. And that means that we've been able to hold out on to this 8.8 trillion and 1.5 trillion in the staking. So if we get more staking, that's going to be really bullish. That will lower the liquid supply. But of course, if people got stakes coming out, that will increase the liquid supply, put a bit more pressure on the price. But at the moment, it's holding pretty steady, which is nice. And of course, the Zen Nights auction finished earlier today. That burnt quite a bit of Zen. We're going to talk about that soon too. You can see some more Zen just got minted and into existence. So that just popped up just as we were watching. Just have a look at the cost. The cost of obviously minting on the 19th were $13 for a new C rank. That has dropped down to $10, but still very high when people were getting it down at $2-3 bucks. But let's have a look at the new supply for the 20th. So the new supply is down 618 million. So we had 31 billion staked, 63 billion burned, and new supply 31. So that's a good day in the office, still slightly down. So kind of cool for that, because we did have 2 up days in supply. So we've had to absorb that, where the high gas prices were lowering the Zen burn, but had bigger ETH burns, right, for the DXN. Now, in terms of the liquid supply, we're still stuck under 60% there, 59.5, which is awesome to be. But of course, we've just been paused there for a couple of days. Hopefully we'll get a move on maybe next week to go down further, maybe even this weekend. We'll see. So the burns there, 4.146 trillion, so which is pretty awesome. And the stakes 1.5 trillion and 2.4%, 353 billion Zen being that hasn't even been minted into existence. So it's pretty much there. So looking at the trends of your friends, these are all the supply sinks, and you can see that they're all moving up pretty well. Staking sort of tapered off a little bit there, but not to be surprised with the price up high and other activities in play, like burning and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. Let's go to the new mints for the day. So let's have a look at that. New mints for the day, 17,766, which is actually quite a lot. How high GWEI is at the moment. That's a pretty high amount, and you can see 43 GWEI. You got cost coverage term 51 days on that. So, you know, max mint is 450 days. So yeah, 76, that's still not too bad. We're sitting over 11 million, but we've been stuck there a little while, just only increasing very small, as we say, but still pushing along. Obviously, as the gas price comes down, then you're going to get a lot more minting. We can go to the Zen dashboard to quickly have a look, see who's minting at the moment. So there's 40 GWEI on at the moment. It's up in the orange. We've got 24 wallets being minted at the moment. So there we are, you know, or being claimed, I should say, not minted. So that is the play. Let's jump over to DXN. And of course, the burn. Let's have a look at the burn for the day. So yesterday's burn increased. Pretty cool, 60 billion. And of course, the day before was 45 and then 49 billion before that. Off the highs, of course, with the higher GWEI. But that means more ETH into the contract. And that is what happened for yesterday. Now, the current cycle, we're currently got, 12 hours and 21 minutes. Let's do a refresh of this. Make sure I got the latest and greatest. So, yeah, 12 hours and 21 minutes. And we've got 4.5 billion in there so far. So we might have a better day, especially if the GWEI comes down. Let's have a look at the leaderboard in the current cycle. There's people that are entering in today's cycle. Now, what today's cycle is day 30. So this is I guess, the last day of the first month of DXN. 29 days, and this is the last day, so it'll be 30 days. It's a reasonable month. So pretty awesome. We can see that someone's got a 1 billion burned in here. The GWEI is definitely lower than yesterday a lot of the time, except for this person got 70 GWEI. That's very high. Try and get as cheap as GWEI as you can into DXN. That's very important. So it is worth your while to do so. And you can see where's this one here. So you can see the differences in GWEI are quite important as well when you compare everybody's entry. Now, at the moment, this is $9,300 of ETH transaction price with the Zen burn as 8,000. So what's that? 16, 17, 17,500. They're expecting a reward of 161,000. So you know other big players are going to come in to close that gap as well. So that's pretty interesting to see. All right, so we're up to 2.3 trillion has been burned through Zen so far. Pretty amazing. 2,138 ETH has gone there as well. $4.1 million at the current price of ETH. Pretty awesome there as well. And the total amount of DXN so far is 281,000. But of course, some of it's being burnt through Exelon, which is pretty neat. Let's jump over to the big story of the day, which is Zen Nights. Zen Nights, man, OMG. So I got this on the money as well. Man, I've been calling the great shots on this, haven't I? Let's go to the Ethereum chain to make sure I'm on the right chain. Let's refresh. Let's refresh this. Bam. So there was a big live show with Jack and everybody. They were following the close of this. But look at that, 110 billion almost burned through Zen deposits. And congratulations to all the people that won the Zen Nights. Bitcoin inscriptions, I understand that they were in the 300,000 range, which is pretty early because we're well over 1 million now on Bitcoin inscriptions. That's kind of the NFT of Bitcoin. And look at that, top bid, 3.7 billion Zen bid on that. So very valuable bid, hugely valuable there. Amazing. So let's just do some quick maths on that. Yeah, we've got a huge number. And let's times that by 5 zeros. We've got 5 zeros. Yep, let's times it by that. 0.2345. And what we got the price? Let's go 7,800. That's easy done. Yeah, $29,000, folks, for that top one. Isn't that incredible? 29,000. So it's extremely valuable. You can see that with a big win there, and we've got other big bids in there as well. So pretty awesome. Now the lowest bid is, let's go to actually billion. So we had 24 people that bid $1 billion or more. $1 billion or more. Can you believe it? So that's pretty huge. And then we had the rest of the 100 all the way down. If you remember, our lowest bid was 10 million. The lowest bid for they actually got in and won an inscription was 465 billion. 465 billion. So pretty amazing. So let's have a look at that lowest bid. And let's put that in there. And let's multiply that by 5 zeros. 78, and that is $3,600. So minimum one was $3,600. Amazing. Top one close to 30,000, which is what just under 10x, 9x bigger to win the top one there. So congratulations to the artwork. Obviously, some of the artwork is going to be some of these as Bitcoin inscriptions, and it's going to be fun to see that play out. It's also sort of like the 6-month inaugural party for Zen. So stay tuned for that. All right, so that is pretty cool. Let's jump over to, so that was really the big news there. 110 billion burned as well. Obviously, a pretty big burn there. Helped to keep the Zen supply in track as well, which is very, very cool. Now, let's jump over to Jack Levin in the news. Let me make sure we're up to date here. So Jack Levin in the news here. This is some of the cool stuff. So ZenZoo pointed out that some of the Zen bids were 5555. So obviously Hexagon's putting out some stamps there. We saw those in there. Yeah, there's a 555 there. 555, 555. So some hexagons in there, which is hilarious. He says Zen Night auction hijacked, and this cannot be tolerated. So I thought that was pretty funny as well. Great sense of humor. Jack Levin says 10 hours ago, I wouldn't be surprised if Zen Night's fight for top 100 slots is fierce during the last hour. I said that too, right? I've seen a lot of these auctions play out. I didn't get to watch the final because obviously it's while I'm sleeping, but definitely it would have been exciting. There was the playing record, so if you want to watch that, Zen Nights Unite, that is on Jack Levin's Twitter. Links in the video description to Jack Levin's Twitter, and you can watch the closing period there. Zen Nights winning participants will get airdrops on the X1 chain as well. So it's not just about winning the inscriptions, which I think is pretty cool by itself, but it's also they're going to get credits for the X1 chain, which is awesome too. So it's a win-win, isn't it? Burning. So pretty cool. The auction is over. You can see the on-chain bid above. So nice. So that's pretty cool. I might just retweet that. Zen Night Action Go Zenikins, most of its burn for ordinals on the Bitcoin blockchain, which is cool. And it looks like a total of $840,000, which is pretty impressive all up. I didn't even think about adding the total, but 840K, that's pretty neat. Top Zen ordinal was worth 28, so I just did the recalculation, close just under 30,000 at the moment. Congratulations to the #1 winner. We'll retweet that. Good to be at the top even during a macro market sell-off. Zen obviously performing well on the Zen coin market cap. We had some spaces there, had to reset for the spaces for Zen. update time. I just had a chat with, this is 5 hours ago, so a chat with Jack Levin to discuss all things XenDoge. Now, XenDoge is one of the new projects coming up. We'll talk about that in a second. We've got another project to talk about that before that, though. So kind of cool. We made some changes to the protocol that I think you'll like, which is kind of neat. So we'll talk more about that later. So it's kind of neat. Let's go back to Jack Levin's updates. Let me just move forward from there. We are deploying DBZen on Pulse Chain V4 so people could play. So that's really positive. So V4 is just launched for Pulse Chain testnet. This is the final testnet for Pulse Chain. And then, of course, mainnet anytime. So remember that. So they're deploying DBZen on Pulse Chain. People can play on that. So definitely go do that. You've seen how successful it's been on Ethereum. So it's going to be fun. All right. So that is the big updates from Jack over the last 24 hours. Sun Tzu also putting out some stuff here about the Zen Nights. Absolutely amazing, but strong participation in the Zen Night auction. Congratulations to all the winners. 109 billion Zen was deposited into the auction. The winner's Zen will be burned. The losing bids will be redeemed, which is pretty cool. I'm going to retweet that. It's from Senzu. Kind of neat. So some other updates there. So very cool. Those are the updates there. We're going to go to Joe Blau. So the next project coming out, of course, is a Fenix. And this is huge. This is a big play. So you imagine so far we've had Zen NFTs, which has been bullish. We've had DBZen, which is bullish as passive income auction house, and then of course you've got we just had the Zen Nights. Now next thing coming up is actually a really big part of the ecosystem. It is a staking or mining protocol. It's a hybrid between different protocols, and it's going to be Fenix. And so, but made by Joe Blau, the founder and developer, and used to, high-end developer, used to work at Uber and things like that, is my understanding. Pretty well-respected member of the community, very intelligent person. So very cool to have Joe Blau there. Now, it's all audits are done and everything like that, so they're testing on the testnet. You can play with that yourself. Phoenix launch schedule, Polygon April the 29th, and Ethereum May the 13th, Binance Smart Chain May the 20th. Avalanche and all the other chains will be the May 27th. So beautifully timed, and that rocket ship makes a lot of sense. But for Ethereum, as you guys are mostly cover Ethereum, May the 13th is the Ethereum link there. So if we go move further in time, we can actually go take our chart here and put a little line in on the 13th of May. And we've got this here. So 13th of May is out that way. And of course, that's not too far away, from today. What's that? 22 days. So 3 weeks, folks. 3 weeks to do that. So that's super bullish too for the fundamentals, obviously, because people are going to need Zen to stake in that protocol. So it's going to be very powerful. So big, awesome stuff there. Now, obviously, on Joe Blau's Twitter, he has some basic summaries people can use to see how it works, how the Fenix protocol works. But you can also play on testnet with it as well. But there is the basic version, and that is the intermediate advanced version of how it works. Very cool. Now, there is a big reward pool every 13 weeks. That's going to be a big attraction there, the reward pool. So people are going to be interested in that for sure. That's paid out in Fenix. So it's a bonus there for people that start mining. So that's pretty cool. Now, we've obviously got XenDoge is coming up as well. So the ecosystem continue to expand. So the big thing, though, about Fenix is that it's a big staking investment savings protocol. That's very important that, ecosystem expands. Now, we also saw Jack there talking about forking V3 the other day. Obviously, you want to get lending protocols and DeFi protocols. This is really the big TVL for crypto and build the ecosystem out. So you can see the protocols coming ahead are actually even better and better in terms of, underlying utilities, which is pretty cool. Now, XenDoge there, 5 hours ago update. I had a chat with Jack Levin, made some changes. So let's have a quick look at some of these changes for XenDoge. The donation will now be payable in ETH, which addressed the issue of sell pressure on Zen. So that's positive. I'm not a big fan of the donation. I think there's others out there not a big fan of that. I don't think it's necessary in this protocol, but they've got it in there. We agreed that it would be best to make the donation optional, and you'll be able to specify the amount you'd like to donate. I think that's a better option. At least it's a compromise. All proceeds from ETH donations will be directed towards a good cause, saving animals, providing them with the care they need. I appreciate the sentiment, but I just don't think that they need it in this project. Fun fact alert, Jack Levin's lovable dog was rescued from streets and forever found a home with him. So let's be honest, who could resist the adorable face? We were so taken with Jack's furry friend that we decided to create our logo based on those irresistible features. So there it is. At least Larry likes it. He loves the pivot. It's a winner for me. And so, yeah, I think that was kind of one of the issues there. So that's kind of cool there for XenDoge. I'll leave all the links in the video description. Hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, Fenix XenDoge coming. It's going to be fun and more. It's going to be very, very cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Let me know your comments, how you're feeling at the moment, what your strategies are, and I'll respond to those. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.